Finally, we got some gameplay of Assassin's Creed Mirage, and for how disappointed Valhalla made me, I gotta admit, this looks promising. When UB revealed Mirage last year, we heard a lot of promises. This game is going to focus on assassins. It's going to feature Basim, a character who actually wants to be an assassin. Gameplay is going to heavily feature stealth, parkour, and assassinations. Black box style mission design would return. Assassin tools like smoke bombs and throwing knives would return. There would be dense crowds to move through and tight corridors with plenty of opportunity for parkour. Now that we have a gameplay trailer, it's hard to say that Ubisoft isn't delivering on a lot of, if not all of these promises. Back in September, I said that AC Mirage felt like, well, a mirage. Now it feels more like a game that does go back to its roots, but in a modern way that isn't unrealistic to expect. What I love most about this trailer is the general vibe. If the slogan for AC Valhalla was like a Viking, the one for Mirage is like an assassin. Because by God, this looks like an Assassin's Creed game, and that's the first time I've been able to say that since Syndicate. Hooded robed man running along rooftops, jump assassinating bad guys, running from guards, parkouring through a city, one-shot kill assassinations. We're in the Middle East, and the sun-soaked city of Baghdad actually looks a lot like Damascus from Assassin's Creed 1. By all appearances, this does fulfill a lot of what classic AC fans are looking for. What stood out immediately to me is this bulky section of parkour. We can see that Baghdad is a dense city with tons of opportunity for free running. Compare that to the RPG creeds, and this is already a huge upgrade. I mean, look at this crowd density. There's actually people walking around on most of these streets. If you watched any number of my AC in 2021 or 2022 reviews, you know that personally, I love a city game. And this is without a doubt a city game. Crowds, rooftops, parkour, hiding spots, all of it is here. One thing I do question though is how is this parkour going to feel? Because Basim running around looks just like Eivor running around in Valhalla. Just look at the way he runs along this crane. I mean, that's the same animation. And hey, that makes perfect sense, right? I mean, this was planned as a DLC for Valhalla and then ended up being converted into a full video game. So, you know, we're dealing with a very similar version of this engine, so you'd expect movement to look similar. My huge pet peeve, however, with Valhalla's movement was how it felt, not how it looked. The problem was Eivor was really slow. Eivor moved like a Viking, not an assassin. I think it's hard to look at this gameplay and be like, yeah, Basim is moving a lot faster. I think he is moving faster, but just how much faster? I don't know, and I'm not gonna know until I actually put my hands on the game and play it, so we'll just have to wait on that. But I will say, I don't expect a lot of mechanical changes from Valhalla in terms of parkour, and I really don't think you should either. I think it's asking too much. I mean, it's been said that this parkour is inspired by Unity, but that doesn't mean that it's gonna feel like Unity. So yeah, just don't hold your breath for complex parkour like the older games. I just don't think we're getting it. But at the same time, I don't want to sound like I'm being reductive here. I do see a lot of potential with the design of this city. The layout looks ripe for parkour. And so if I'm going to be able to jump around and climb on all this stuff, I think I'm going to be really happy. Moving on, let's look at assassinations. Where the RPG games treated assassinations like an afterthought, they are absolutely front and center in Mirage. We get this black box style setup with Basim receiving instructions, needing to infiltrate the stronghold unseen, and there's multiple options like bribing guards and pickpocketing keys in order to get in. We also see blending on a bench in action. And just the fact that all of this stuff is featured as a main mechanic instead of, I don't know, blowing your horn and raiding a camp on your longship, that is really encouraging to me. We saw what I think shades of what this will feel like in the Assassin's Creed Valhalla Siege of Paris DLC, and that was not quite far enough for my taste, so I really hope they actually just rein it back completely and just say, go figure it out yourself. We're not going to tell you exactly how to get where you need to go. Also, one-shot kill assassinations are all over this trailer. I mean, glory hallelujah, we have a lethal hidden blade once again. I'm really happy to see this in action, and I can't wait to actually do it myself. Speaking of, here's what looks like a chain assassination. Now, when I first watched this, I was super cynical. I thought this was some wonky Isu magic because of that blue glow. It turns out that I'm wrong. This is an ability called Assassin Focus that lets him pull off a multi-kill assassination. This has been in press, like interviews and whatnot, so the comparison that's been drawn is to the Fear multi-takedown from Batman Arkham Knight. In that game, you would initiate a takedown and then be able to kind of direct where you want to go next. We don't know exactly how it's going to work. It almost looks the same. Maybe you slow down time, pick targets, and then execute it, but we do know it's something that you'll activate, but you can't do all of the time. So it's like an ability. And then you'll also have to upgrade it in order to take out full groups. Like you can't just do this from the start. So generally speaking, this looks awesome and I can't wait to do it. But this is a pet peeve. I wish this wasn't an ability. I wish I could just do this without a cooldown or without, quote unquote, activating something. But hey, this is probably what Ubisoft meant when they said this is going to feel like an in-between of the old games and the new ones. It's not going to be exactly how it used to be, and that's just something we have to expect and be okay with. There's also a solid chunk of open combat in this trailer, and it looks pretty dang slick. Lots of spinning and slicing, and some very familiar looking moves even back to the Ezio games. Something big to point out that I didn't actually know until I looked it up, the only weapon combo that you see in this trailer and that will be available in the game is dual wielding a dagger and a sword. There are snippets of this gameplay that might suggest that we can use the hidden blade in combat, but yeah, so there's not like a ton of different combat like weapon options and all of that. And you know what? I'm kind of hoping that we'll see some fun counter animations where Basim yanks a weapon away from the enemy and uses it against them, but ultimately I like this change. It's sort of a less is more approach. I just hope that combat feels a lot tighter and more satisfying than the RPG games. If they're able to really hone in on the dagger and the sword and make that feel like super tight and satisfying, that's all I need really. But yeah, I'm still crossing my fingers that we can take out the hidden blade in combat and not just activate it as like a finisher move in combat. Let's cap off this video by talking about social stealth. Now, there really is none in this gameplay beyond Basim sitting on this bench, but that could very well be just the animation to pass time like we had in all of the RPG games. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I want to see social stealth in action. I want to blend with crowds, and I also want a full-on notoriety system where I can go from invisible, where guards aren't looking for me, to high alert, where it feels like I'm running for my life and I have to escape. The chase and escape loop is something that has been desperately missing from this franchise. It's one pillar that made it unique and one that I really want back. Now, I said there's no footage of social stealth, but we do have footage of Basim throwing a smoke bomb and kind of running and parkouring up a wall away, and also of him running through crowds. But again, we don't see him slowing down to blend or really doing anything of that chase and escape loop. So we don't actually know how this is going to work yet. Are they making a social stealth / notoriety system that changes how enemies behave? Will we have to run away in order to disappear? Are they fixing detection? Because man, Valhalla's stealth system was so inconsistent that I just stopped using it. Like people would see me through walls, it just felt really unsatisfying. So I really hope that they took a long, hard look at that, went underneath the hood and actually fixed whatever was going on with that system. All that said, I think this gameplay trailer tells us a lot about AC Mirage. This is clearly the back to the roots game that they promised us. But it's still the in between the old and the new game that they also promised us. Whether they can actually thread the needle and make something satisfying with that, we'll have to see. But my biggest fear is getting hyped again, or hyping myself up again, only for this to feel like a half measure, But the problem is we won't know until we actually play it. On the whole, like taking everything we're looking at though, I'm legitimately excited with what I see here. On a personal note, being excited about Assassin's Creed again, it feels good. I mean, I've been stuck somewhere between disappointed and apathetic with this franchise in general, ever since I 100%ed Valhalla and, I moved on from Assassin's Creed on my channel and started making variety gaming videos. I've really put the series on the back burner. I don't think about it a lot. I visit the subreddit less. I watch less AC videos. I've just kind of moved on. That kind of brings me back to the fact that being hyped for the next game, it really does feel great. It feels fun. But again, I've learned my lesson with Valhalla. Valhalla. At least I hope. You know, this is not a ride or die sort of game for me. I'm really excited to see more of it. I'm excited to play it in October, which feels like right around the corner, but I'm not hanging my hat on this video game to blow me away. I recognize what it is. It's a step between the old and the new. It's also a budget title. It's $50. So this is not something that I'm gonna expect to just blow me out of the water. And once again, there's already a deluxe edition trailer for this game with some Prince of Persia skins with a magical looking horse and a magical blade and dagger. So I don't know, man. I really, that rubs me the wrong way. I recognize that it is a reality of modern gaming to have microtransactions in a video game, but at the same time, there's this fear in me that we're gonna get a $50 game just jam-packed with microtransactions, and that's always, no matter what, going to sort of lower my enjoyment of a video game. The good news is we should have more answers very soon because Ubisoft Forward is coming. It's June 12th. That's only a few weeks away. So I fully expect to have some of my questions answered about social stealth, about hidden blade combat. I actually just want to, I want to see not a cinematically, filmed gameplay trailer. I want to just see some raw gameplay. I just want them to plop us down and just give us a look. Historically, that's what we've gotten from the E3 before an Assassin's Creed coming out. So I don't think you need to cross your fingers. I think you need to expect that coming really soon here. So I will definitely watch that and report back to you guys when I see it. But with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you did, remember to hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this and hit the bell so you don't miss my next one. Thank you guys once again for watching, and I will talk to you next time.